The United States government has turned into a concierge service for a completely broken, demented man that lies about his height, about his weight, and in our non medical opinion, has full blown dementia. He has a little hit list of enemies that he would like to prosecute because he doesn't give a shit about any of the needs or services that Americans would like to get from their government. And of course, he's going after James Comey. The Justice Department officials race to charge James Comey as deadline looms. Prosecutors are moving forward days after President Trump ousted U.S. attorney who voiced doubts about charging former FBI director. And Pumps, I believe that this U.S. attorney had been investigating this for 9 months, correct?
Correct. He was a Trump appointee. Trump appointed him in Trump 2.0, but because there was no evidence or probable cause to charge James Comey, he got fired. Because Trump, as we saw with his Truth Social post, he wants these people prosecuted that he doesn't like.
So we can deduce from that in the tea leaves that he wants people to manufacture evidence.
Of course he does. He's a criminal.
So this leads me to all of the information we're currently getting out of sycophant, ass kisser, beta male, crazy eyed, cash money, Ching Ching Patel's FBI. And that's why I call bullshit on all of it, because it's crazy living in an America where we cannot trust our agencies and institutions at all. And even a Trump appointee can't be a big enough piece of shit for him. So moving along here, put up the next slide, Kylie. Newly appointed U.S. attorney will attempt to charge James Comey despite prosecutors finding no probable cause. Pumps, explain for the layman what probable cause is.
The feds have to go to a grand jury and present their evidence, and they have to have the grand jury say it's more probable than not. I would say 52% probable to indict. So his prosecutor that he appointed did not think there was a 51% chance he could make these charges stick.
Okay, and then here's an excerpt from that article. Earlier this week, prosecutors presented Lindsay Halligan, Trump's former personal attorney, whom he appointed to lead the United States Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Virginia, with a detailed memo recommending that she decline to bring perjury and obstruction charges against Comey, the sources familiar with the memo said. So Pumps, basically, he has appointed somebody to go do his bidding. And let me ask you this. The text message or DM that it appeared that he sent to Pam Bondi that came out, that was basically like, you're not prosecuting my enemies.
Right.
Does that lead a judge to throw this whole thing out? Because it's clear that this is targeted weaponization and abuse of his office.
I think you could, like a Democratic Justice Department or an independent Justice Department can make that claim. In this case, I don't think it will get that far because I don't think a grand jury will indict because they don't have probable cause.
Okay. And then who is Lindsay? All right. So put this up. Lindsay is a former Miss Colorado USA 2010 top 5. There we have Lindsay Halligan. She was a pageant queen, and we all know who owned these pageants. Interestingly here, you guys, you cannot make this up. 4th runner-up is Erica Francvi, who is now known as Erica Kirk. So Trump's new attorney that has never tried a case in her life, I don't think, was in the pageant with Charlie Kirk's widow.
Yeah. 3rd runner-up, Lindsay. 4th runner-up, Erica.
All right, let's listen to this great legal mind. Let's just listen to this.
Pleasant past.
Yeah, I mean, it's not about whitewashing. It's all about full context. So while slavery is obviously a horrible aspect of our nation's history, you can't really talk about slavery honestly unless you also talk about hope and progress. And I think we.
Okay. Can you imagine getting on TV and saying, you can't talk about slavery unless you talk about hope and progress? And even there, she was so ineloquent. While while. Good
Do you
fucking
remember
luck.
that girl that was in the pageant? And it was probably about 15 years ago, and they asked her, and she's like, because Americans don't use maps and because of the Iraq and stuff like that. I mean, that's exactly the vibes that she's giving right there. Okay. And then moving along, next one.
We are being told this by 3 sources that an indictment of Comey is expected in the coming days. They're also saying that this same office is expected to charge Tish James, the New York Attorney General, with mortgage fraud. And of course, Donald Trump, we all saw it posted on Truth Social in recent days, exhorting his Attorney General to charge both of those people as soon as possible. Again, this is grand juries are secret. This is a fluid situation. It's also important to know, though, that the U.S. attorney, the Trump-appointed U.S. attorney in this office, Eric Siebert, was essentially forced out last week, in part because he was refusing to bring these cases. We're told that he was opposed to to prosecuting both James and Comey on these grounds, and he's out now. And the new U.S. attorney is a former Donald Trump defense lawyer who's never prosecuted a case.
All right, stop right there. This broad has never prosecuted a case, is a Trump sycophant to the highest order. This is everything that they spoke about. MAGA, all of the MAGA influencers and Fox News. It's a swamp. It's corrupt. Weaponization of government was mere projection.
Absolutely.
And so now they're coming in and they've made the government a swamp. And basically, all of these agencies now are Donald Trump's Kank's evil concierge service. He wants them to curry favor for him. And this is a mob boss meets dementia care center, meets bad interior designer, meets broken malignant narcissist. This is bonkers. And what's so horrible, and we'll let Pump speak about this. My husband isn't a criminal defense attorney, and he has a lot of friends that are U.S. attorneys. And these are serious people that studied and believe in the rule of law.
Mhm.
Thousands and thousands and thousands of attorneys, and they are making a mockery of this entire thing.
Federal prosecutors are smart and they're dedicated. So this is a slap in the face to them. But I just want to remind Lindsay, all of Trump's attorneys that represented him in the election case disbarred, suspended, sued, criminals now. So she needs to watch out because Trump may be immune from this stuff, but even this sounds a little outside the immunity if they wanted to prosecute him. She's not.
Let's face it, the Roberts Court is never going to make this man feel anything
You're right.
other than supported and coddled and rocked and breastfed and burped and a diaper change on top of it, because we all know he wears diapers. And so what is this whole thing about, this whole James Comey, Donald Trump feud? Because I remember back during 2016, James Comey totally fucked the Democrats.
Absolutely.
Hillary was up in the polls, and then there was some emails, and he comes out and announces it, and then she dropped in the polls, and he totally fucked her and delivered the presidency, Trump 1.0, to Kanks, which led to all this later. So Kylie put this up. Giuliani, Trump fired Comey because former FBI director wouldn't say he wasn't a target in investigation. So basically, when Trump came on, Comey was still the FBI director. And I guess at this point, they were investigating Trump.
Yes.
Okay.
The Russiagate.
Okay.
So he wanted Comey to say publicly, Trump is not a target of Russiagate. And Comey couldn't do that in good conscience and an ethical nature. And so Trump got mad. And you just have to remember, Bill Barr went ahead and did Trump's bidding up to a point. Everybody that is in Trump's orbit, they have to do what he says. And because he couldn't, with an ethical conscience, and I'm no fan of James Comey, but I'm just saying he was like, I can't do this. And so Trump's like, you're out. And then, of course, he goes back and forth on why he fired him. But his then attorney, Rudy Giuliani, said it straight up. And then Trump said it. Then he tried to walk it back.
Okay. And then one more tidbit here. The bizarre and toxic feud between Trump and the Comeys will run and run. And here's a little excerpt from this. The president told NBC News Lester Holt that he fired Comey over the investigation into the Russia collusion. Comey said that he was summoned to the White House for an uncomfortable one-on-one dinner with Trump a week into his first term and asked to pledge loyalty to the president in a breach of protocol by which FBI directors have sought distance from the Oval Office. So this all goes back to Trump 1.0 because he is so butthurt that Joe Biden beat him by like 8 to 10 million votes. Because here's the thing about Trump, when he's campaigning, sadly, the American public finds it entertaining and doesn't take him seriously. And then the moment he starts governing, all this fuckery happens. And in Trump 1.0, you had people that put up guardrails. Even Bill Barr, who was a total sycophant, wouldn't go as far as Trump wanted him to. And James Comey wouldn't. So he holds these little grudges. And now he's using the FBI, the DOJ, Homeland Security, everybody and anybody that he can to be his evil concierge service.
And you know what? I look at this, Trump, you always hear him talk about loyalty, and he wanted Comey to make a loyalty pledge. People don't ask you to make a loyalty pledge unless they want you to do shady shit.
That's a great point.
I mean, you know, I've never asked you for a loyalty pledge because I've never asked you to break the law for me. I mean, it is so obscene how this whole thing works. And Pam Bondi is just like, lapdog, can't get it done quick enough.
It's so fucking crazy. And it's such a layup for Democrats.
Such a layup.
We're playing two different games here, and we're writing strongly worded letters and demanding sit-down interviews. Meanwhile, as Putin and Netanyahu are dog-walking Trump has Jeffries and Schumer. They're little Pomeranians with pink bows on their hair, and he's sitting in the Oval just evil, like Dr. Evil, just petting them and fluffing up their hair. It's unbelievably pathetic, the Democratic response to all of this. They should whip up and immediately say no across the board and quit fucking around. The American people would love it. Yeah, they would love it. They're dying for leadership, dying for it. All right, that's all we have with this unbelievable story. And we'll be back later today with more news. Support Pumps and Me by buying our book, Life is a Lazy Susan of Shit Sandwiches. The link is right below in the show notes. And the title has never been more appropriate.
100%.